From the beautiful Red Rock Lanes in Las Vegas, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT event. Storylines all over the place all day long today, but here's a good one. That kid on the right is named Sebastian Huffman, and get ready to see a lot of him on the JBT videos over the next couple years or so. He's 10 years old. He just won the U17 division with the 250 scratch game. He just won his semifinal match in the handicap step ladder that you're looking at with a 265 scratch game. And oh, he's going up against a 21-year-old who just bowled his first ever 300 game. They were a combined plus 705 for their 8 games today. They were neck and neck all day long, and Austin here is giving 7 pins against Huffman. And you see why these guys are both the top seeds. Austin with that maximum power strike ball, and Sebastian just pretty darn good for a 10-year-old, to put it mildly. To their left in the scratch division is our first ever look at Jared Sense. He's from Illinois but bowls on the ASU college team. That's why we're seeing him. He's looking for his first career title, and he's got his hands full up against one of our best current bowlers, 25-time champ Harley Swaggart. Sense leaves at 4, and Sugarman comes up high. He opened in the first, went spare strike, and now this 8 count in the 4th. He's got to be relieved that Huffman hasn't started out with the front 9. Instead, it's been 3 9 spares in a row. Austin's 300 came during the semifinals today. His first and only the second this season on tour, despite some pretty playable patterns early on, which is typical for us. Jared Harden straight at the spare, no problem covering it up. Jared's new to us on this tour, but he's got a bunch of titles over on the other tour as he talks on his tour that he grew up with, as he talks to his teammates over there, and as Huffman flushes 10 in the pit. 5 total titles on the ISST, the Illinois Scholarship Tour, similar to us. Good tour out there. So he knows what he's doing in environments like this. A really nice physical game too. Let's get Huffman here first. Yawn. Let's get Sense over here next. No! Sebastian will give Jared some lessons later how to get those 10 pins to carry. Austin overtook Sebastian with that 300 game and ended up qualifying first at plus 365. And gets real lucky to break up that split there. So after all these high scores, this match not yet shaping up to be that pace. Handicaps can be a little bit wild during the course of the early tournaments. As some bowlers practiced and got better all summer, things change, all that stuff. The averages will mellow out and get truer to form throughout the course of the season. That's why we save most of our big events for later on in the season. Harley off to a red-hot start to the new season. Did miss a couple cuts here and there to sort of mollify that start, but he's already peeled off a couple titles to get to that number 25, and he grabs the early lead with that double in the 5th. Another non-strike for these guys who've been striking all day, but he does pick up his spare. Only that one open in the first. Huffman, by far the youngest ever bowler to win our U17 subdivision earlier with that win over Kyle Rendon. Oh, about the only thing that can go wrong is bad carry for him, and he slams a 7 pin there. Ouch. Chance to start to run away with the game, but not to be. Beautiful shot from Swaggart, makes it 2 in a row, opens his lead up to, what is that, about 20 pins or so. Huffman elects to hook the ball at the 7 pin. That's fine on the more scoreable patterns. We bowled on a pattern called Crown Jewel in the A22 series. A lot of volume in the middle, a lot of friction to the right. Led to medium high scores today from the field, and obviously very high scores on top. Plus 5 to make the scratch cut, so right at a 201 average. He needed to be at plus 44 to make it into handicap second round today. Another just calm, perfect 10 in the pitch shot from Huffman. As Cortez was starting to finish up his career last year, we started talking about who's the next Cortez. Just when Kyle King was finishing up, we talked about who the next Kyle King was. turned out to be Cortez. Sebastian definitely in the category there. We've already talked about Solomon being in that category. No Solomon this weekend. Sense struck in the first and has not struck since. So Sense needs to erase that since. Not to be though. Can't quite manage that break point right now. Falling behind fast in a tricky, choppable 245 to shoot at. Sugarman with a chance to double, and he gets it right back in the game. Trails by 11 on the scoreboard and giving 7 more, so 18 pins, but he's got that double working, so anything can still happen there. Oh, and Jared slides by the 245, and his facial reaction tells the story there. A bit of a nonplussed look. Here's Huffman in the 8th. Wow, and his worst shot of the title match, first thing less than a 9 count. This thing could flip rapidly in the last couple of frames here. Total gravy for both these bowlers. They've already, Sebastian's got the U17, Austin's got his 300. They both went plus a zillion. Oh, and this time it's Swagger that gets a really bad break as he shredded that rack and got no love for it, leaving only the 10. Nicely done at the cluster spare. I love that he's remaining calm. Sometimes 10-year-olds are running up and down the bowling alley or running to the video games or anything else, and that is not the case. This guy is clearly a born bowler. His dad was right. I don't know if his dad bowls. We're gonna have to find out some more information about it. That's Proud Papa right over there, though. A little further out. Oh, does not get back, and yikes. A, he loses a lot of counts. B, he's got the tricky washout. C, it's the 9th frame. Well, it's obviously a makeable spare. You don't want to chop something off and go 5-2, but the way Austin's bowling, you might need the spare, and he gets it! Yeah! That's sort of the hard way that way to get the deflection, especially when you're coming in from the outside, but he nails it, no problem whatsoever. Half 7 there from Harley. Wasn't as pure a shot. Still could have carried, but did not. But he just needs to fill frames. The best Sense can do is 211. Harley just goes spare for 210. And the shot of the day, right? Well, the second shot of the day, maybe for Austin right here. And he's all over it. Pure grip and rip from Sugarman. There's not much else to describe on that. He just puts all in on every ball. Now let's see here, 212 max for Hoffman, 226 max for Sugarman, and he's giving the 7, so if he strikes out, he wins. Here we go. Ooh! He fell, and he did go over the foul line. Holy cow, that changes everything. Overly maxed that. Just barely got that back foot over the line, but it is a foul. Now, he's got to regroup and somehow mentally regroup and make this spare, because the game is far from over. Up quickly at it. Oh no. What a catastrophic frame at a obviously miserable time. There's never a good time for foul 8. The 10th frame is absolutely not it. All of a sudden his final score drops to 182, and Huffman just has to stay behind the lane all of a sudden, which he does. Some people wait decades for a title. This kid is only a decade old. He's been waiting minutes for this title. For seconds he's dreamed of this title. As Jared over there is going to have to keep his dream for a little while longer as well. Now, the only thing he has left to do is to spare the 4 count on our webcast, which I don't think anyone has ever done on our cameras before. Belmonte made it last year on tour on camera. Why the heck not? He has to throw a hook ball at this, as if there's a 3-4 split and everything else just kind of goes out on its own. Harley and Cruz over there, this is close. No, not quite. And that's the only thing that will go wrong for Sebastian all day long. Is he finished up with 200 even. 231 total. I'm glad to see Austin smiling, because that is just a killer ending for him there. That's just a darn shame for him. Right there, Harley Swaggart is in total cruise control. He's going to win title number 26, tickling them all there to get into at least the 220s. So it's been a little hit and miss for Harley. When he's been off, he's just flat out missed cuts, but when he has had a look, he has taken it all the way just about every single time this year. That's a good way to pile on money and titles. For Jared, his time will come, and the rest of the ASU crew. Glad that they're it's a whole new ASU crew too, as well as Andrew Hall there finished in third. Sweet participated. Sorry, Matthew. And KJ, also glad to have him back, and they are preoccupied with whatever's on the video screen. 10 years old beats 21. Leanne Orlando, by the way, when the girls scratch today, we should mention that for 50 bucks in priority, and Jared says, what if only over there. Can't say it any differently than that. 227 for 26-time champ. Moving up the all-time titles list. That breaks a tie with, I believe, Ben Canfield at that spot. I could be wrong on that one, but check out our all-time titles list as he is rapidly moving up that list. Next time, Illinois. There. Quick shot to prove the Grimes were here. Your kids got here, Mrs. Grimes. There we go. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.